Good evening, Rakhi ma'am. Rakhi ma'am, I am audible? Up. You joined from Calcutta office, ma'am.
Rajesh, I think we need to start.
Okay.
It is
ठीक है sir.
already 5:05.
5-5 ना sir.
Hmm.
I got a. ठीक है sir. We'll start sir. So, shall we start, Arvind sir?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you sir. Thank you sir. We expect more people also to join midway, sir. Good afternoon, all the seniors, all the sir and madam, and I am delighted to welcome you for another session of Antardrishti. As we all know, this is a series, esteemed series, which gives us the insightful interaction with the industry leaders. Antardrishti, as we all know, the name is getting the insight or the inner vision, and it's basically designed to set the spark of the fresh perspective, to encourage the deep reflections on the subject which are very critical to our leadership success. Through these sessions, we try to facilitate the meaningful conversation with the various thought leaders who share their experiences, their challenges, and their strategies also that have shaped their achievement and also their organization achievement. And today, in that journey, we are excited to continue with our session, focus on the sustainability. Now, this is the 16th edition, Arvind sir, and the number 16 brings a very peculiar thought to my mind that we have the 16 sanskars, sacraments that are performed in the Hinduism. And this holds a great significance that are 16 sanskars from the birth till the death. And this shows that in the human life, in the sustainability, they are 16. The number 16 is important. Similar in the organization perspective also, we have many significant milestones and practices that shapes our journey and the success. And we have on this very pertinent issue to discuss on the driving sustainability and ESG excellence in our steel industry to help us guide towards the growth, excellence, and purpose. We have with us Dr. Arvind. Sir, we welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
And if I may, if the group allows me, I may like to give a brief profile of sir. Dr. Arvind is an experienced ESG, CSR, and risk management professional with a thorough more than 3 decades of experience in various industries, spanning from fertilizers, petrochemicals, cement, shipping, glass, and lot. Sir is currently working as Chief Sustainability Officer at ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel. Before joining in the current position, sir has also worked at Executive Director, ESG and Risk Officer with Dalmia Bharat Group. Besides the risk and sustainability, sir has also worked in area of operations, business excellence, marketing, and HR. A thorough gamut of experience, sir, we must say. Sir holds also a direct doctorate in climate science and marketing, and is also certified independent director for Institute of Directors. And with his Due expertise, sir holds various board positions as a director of board on Global Cement and Concrete Association, director on board of Society for Safety, Health and Environment and Sustainability Professions, and the list goes on, sir. I will not take much of time. We will
That's okay.
utilize this time to listen to you, sir. This precious.
Sure, sure.
So without further much ado, sir, I hand over the stage to you, sir.
Thank you, Rajesh ji. Thank you, Atanu ji. Thank you, Abhay ji. The introduction was very, very generous. I don't know whether I mean, it's a pleasure actually listening about you, somebody talking about you in such a nice manner. And thanks for inviting me to talk to the senior professionals from Steel Authority of India. While being on the board of various this thing, maybe National Safety Council or the other organizations, I have been interacting with senior people from the cell, but I actually never got an opportunity to visit any of the plants. While I work with Tata's, I am primarily a cement and steel guy, mostly in the hard to abate sector, if you all understand. And as Rajesh ji mentioned, I have been working across the value chain, but primarily a environment and sustainability person. Focusing on got into sustainability almost now 20 years back, when the Kyoto Protocol was existing and we got into the CDM mechanism and fuel switch, if you all understand. So we registered a project, and then we also did our sustainability reporting for the first time in 2005 or 6. That's how I got into sustainability, and since then driving various agenda of various organizations at the high level. The mandate which has been given to me today is talk to you about the ESG and sustainability. So in next 40 minutes, 40 odd minutes, what I'm going to do is, take you through. There are a lot of myths about sustainability and ESG and confusion about sustainability and ESG. While it's a while now, sustainability roles or functions have been stabilizing, but it's not still common in most of many organizations. And people do keep calling me. I do speak at various events, and they want me to again throw some light on what sustainability is all about, what ESG is all about, why it is important. And that's what I will try to cover. And of course there are some use cases from my own company, which I will be presenting how we are driving sustainability in my own company, or how I have been driving it in the past. So if you may allow, I will share I have some slides, and I will speak through those slides.
So you have the right, sir. You can load, sir, from there.
Yeah. So are my slides visible?
Sir, it's loading. Yeah, sir. We could see it, sir.
Okay. So sustainability, as all of you know, the word itself says ability to sustain, and the word itself defines what sustainability all about. That's what I keep telling people. But there are certain classical definitions in the industry also. Sustainability is meeting today's needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet. And this is the classical definition which Mrs. E.H. Brundtland, who was the president of Norway in the year 1980, and how this term sustainability was coined, that uh, in early 80s there were a lot of mining activities were happening around Europe and in basic and UK, and people were really concerned that if with this pace, if we start consuming the natural resources, perhaps there may not be enough natural resources left out for the future generations to come. And that's why United Nations decided that someone should study all these things and come out with a white paper or a report. And that's why the that time Norwegian Prime Minister, Miss Brundtland, was entrusted with this task. She almost worked for 5, 6 years and came out with the definition of sustainability. And that was the time when sustainability was first spoken at the international arena. And this is what the definition is. And she said that if you consume sustainability is all about, you know, uh, preserving or conserving the resources for future generations. Of course, the context at that point of time was merely to conserve the natural resources, but over a period of time, it was widened to the other areas also, like human and social aspects were also kept on were added to this. And the other definition, which is very popular, is sustainability is a condition under which human and nature can coexist. So that's what they want. It's primarily when we produce something, the impact what we create is on the nature first, and then secondly the human being. Human being means the communities which are associated with us or the employees which are associated with us. So these are two classical definition exist. But otherwise, when we talk about business sustainability, it's primarily the endurance. So we want our businesses to endure, and I have a couple of examples in down the slides. How businesses can get disrupted and how businesses can, uh, you know, get discontinued. And finally, what I said in the beginning, sustainability is nothing but ability of the businesses to sustain. Mostly what we are going to do today, I'm not going to talk philosophical, while globally it is talk. I will not be using jargons which are being used globally. But I will be talking about practically how businesses are made sustainable, and through by making businesses sustainable, how planet and societies are made sustainable. That's what I would like to cover. Now, moving this thing, the sustainability basics. So, sustainability and ESG, there is a slight difference in sustainability and ESG. While sustainability is an outcome, ESG is a process. So, you may see these words being interchangeably used, but ESG is a process, ESG is a metric. You can say, while sustainability is the outcome. So, if you want to make an organization sustainable, you have to follow ESG principles and you have to follow the ESG framework. ESG framework will help you to make your organization sustainable. So, some of the basics when you want to drive sustainability is value creation for stakeholders. Now, each organization has, or each producing organization, or any organization has 7, 8 stakeholders, starting from your suppliers to consumers to investors, shareholders, employees, communities, regulators. So there are 7, 8 stakeholders. And when we talk about business continuity, if we don't create value for the stakeholders, what will happen is one after the other, this suppliers, this stakeholders would start pulling out from your business, and eventually your business will close down or collapse. So it is always that you have to create a value for the stakeholders. And when we start creating value for the stakeholders, our businesses become sustainable. And as we move forward, I will tell you what is value creation is all about. Risk management, it is also a risk management. So we identify the risk. It's the financial risk, operational risk, whether it is reputational risk, regulatory risk, environmental risk, social risk, or technological risk. So various risks are there when you run businesses, and you need to identify the risk associated with your business and develop a plan to mitigate this risk or keep it under control. If you don't do this, what will happen? That will also lead to business continuity issues, and your business may not be, maybe a unsustainable business. The next thing is protecting people and planet. So sustainability is all about protecting people and planet. While people are our own people and the communities which are there, and through the planet protection can happen by conserving the natural resources, conserving the water, and emitting less carbon emissions. Uh, So that's what is all about the ESG, basics of ESG. ESG framework, as I said, is to oversee organization sustainability in a quantitative approach. As I said, when we talk about ESG, there will be numbers, there will be KPIs, there will be indicators. So you have 33% indicators on environment, 33% indicator on social, and maybe 33% indicators on, or 34 percent indicators on governance side. So that's how whole ESG is measured. And once this score keeps going up, your organization becomes sustainable. Now, sustainability, risk management, and business continuity management, I already told you, this has been explained to you. It's These are related concepts. Sustainability and ESG are related. Both have common goals for promoting responsible and ethical businesses. Nowadays, these terms are becoming very common, responsible and ethical businesses. And why I am telling you is why sustainability has become more popular, or why people are talking about sustainability in today's this thing, is because stakeholders are demanding. And when I say stakeholders are demanding, it is more about the investors, more about the shareholders, foreign shareholders. Indian economy is growing at a pace of 7 to 8% every year. Our Prime Minister has already committed that by 2025 will be 5 trillion economy. If it doesn't happen by 2025, another 2 years you take, but we are poised to become 5 trillion economy, with the third largest economy in the world after US and China very soon. If you look at the other economies, they are not growing at that pace. The closest one is China, which is growing at maybe 4 to 4.5%. Brazil is next to that, which is around 2%. Rest all are around 1% or less than even 1%. Some of the European economies are in negative. Now, all these developed economies are sitting in huge cash. Uh, it is in trillions of dollars, and these funds are parked with the large investors like Bloomberg's, the BlackRocks, the Aberdeen's, the Church of England, Canadian Pension Fund. They are sitting on in the large sums of dollars. And the investors to these funds, they are continuously insisting, and they have a challenge to grow their money. Now, when the European economies or the developed economies are not growing more than 1%, their money will not go more than 1%. So definitely they see an opportunity to invest into India through FDI route or through FII route, and they want to grow their money. But at the same time, when they want to grow their money, they also want to take care of the risk which are associated. They want their principles to be protected. And because they have seen that in the past, what kind of frauds have happened, what kind of ethical issues have happened with the company, so they are a bit careful about it. So while people are showing a healthy balance sheets, but the financial balance sheet is not a kind of true picture of the company. So they also want the ESG scores to be communicated to them. And now, when they say a company is better on environment, a company is taking care of their communities, or companies have good policies, procedures, and governance structure in place. Their board is independent, the chairman is independent. Those kind of companies carry more weightage when they make investment. So if you, in a simpler word, if I had to say that, if a ESG score of a company is better, and even if that company is not making that much of money, you would see that lot of fund flow will happen in that company. Whereas if a company is making huge profits, but they are not good on governance, they are not taking well care of their environment and people, then perhaps people may not invest into that. And the reality, you have seen that there has been 16 to 17% stable FII investment in the stock markets today, and the stock markets are around more than 80,000 currently. and they have been getting towards a stability because most of the top 100 companies or top 30 companies are moving towards ESG and trying to stabilize their operations. As a result, you would see more and more investment coming into these companies, and the stock markets or the indices are growing. Now, if you ignore ESG, what would happen? And these are a couple of examples I had given. They are available in the public domain. You might know that what happened with Vedanta Copper in Tuticorin because of the environmental issue. This huge plant is closed down, and lots of investment was made. Many people have lost their job in this. Uh, Ultratech Bhavnagar, this was a lion corridor, and they were doing mining over there. They were stopped to do that because they couldn't take care of the people, the lands over there. Yes Bank, Punjab National Bank, DHFL, Cafe Coffee Day, and there is a list of this thing. You know, all these companies now they have faced serious issues, and some of them are do not exist now. Byju's is almost closed down. Paytm, we know what issues they had around governance and the compliances. They couldn't do that. And if you don't take care of the ESG issues or you ignore ESG issues, something of this kind can happen to any company. Now, sustainability, just a minute, let me change this setting. Sustainability is a game changer. As I said, BlackRock, which is holding about $10 trillion dollars of portfolio, they have said if you don't come out with your CO2 reduction plan, we will not invest into it. And Larry Finks wrote a letter in 2021 to all the investees that you have to show me a progress on CO2 reduction, otherwise I'll pull out my investment. Similarly, there is another group which is called as Climate Action 100, CA 100, what we call it. It's a pool of about 615 investors. They hold a asset of around $65 trillion with them, and they have also written letters to the CEOs that you must show us ESG improvement, otherwise we'll pull out the investment. Now you can imagine how much of investment it is lying. 65 trillion means you can imagine it's we are around 3 point something or 4 trillion today economy. So how much big this amount is, even if the 10% of this comes to us or 5% of this comes to us, it's a huge amount. Or BlackRock's 10 trillion also is a huge amount, and BlackRock has made investment in many of the Indian companies. So similarly, there are now Indian funds are also there, which are also becoming nine ESG, nine or 6 out of 9 funds have taken exposure into good companies, which include cement industry, oil and gas also. Although we call it as a cement and steel to be offenders, or they are called as culprits, doing pollutions, but still people have taken positions because they have shown a good roadmap to reduce CO2 emissions, and their other practices are also ethical. All of us know that Tata, TCS, or HDFC Bank, they are considered to be uh, very good on ESG and HDFC and the sustainability, and they have been showing a very stable performance. There is an index called Morgan Stanley index. If these company like we have a National Stock Exchange or NSE Nifty or BSE index is there. So Sensex is there. Likewise, there is the index, global index of MSCI. Now, when companies are included in this index, it is considered to be a very prestigious one. And the moment 33 companies were included, their stocks actually outperform the market. And because MSCI primarily focuses on ESG. So this is sustainability is going to be a game changer. Key stakeholder I already discussed with you, investors, shareholders, communities. And this is important. When we start your sustainability journey, now many people struggle when how from where we should start. We want to start our sustainability journey. And the first step you should be doing is the materiality assessment. And nowadays, it is the double materiality assessment, what we call it. First of all, materiality assessment, materiality means significance. The issues which are of significant importance to your organization. This is how this is done is you need to interact with your stakeholders. Maybe a sample size you can take based on your company's size. So I had taken a size of around 200 people, 200 stakeholders, which includes your employee, your leadership, your consumers, your customers, your suppliers, all those stakeholders which I talked to. And we jotted down, we interviewed more than 200 people. We took their opinion. What do you think as ArcelorMittal, Nippon Steel should be doing? Or what would make ArcelorMittal to be sustainable? So they said that you must take care of climate change. You should take care of your own workforce. You should make right use of your resources, which is circular economy. And these kind of 17 issues came out. While they were the list can go on and go on, but then we prioritize out of this. We asked them the top 17 issues where came out, and we plan them on a matrix. The quadrants. High and low kind of thing. Now you can see in the x and y axis there is a financial materiality and there is impact materiality. Earlier, we used to do only financial materiality. Now, what we have started to do, rather, earlier we were only doing the impact materiality. Now we are also doing the financial materiality. So, what is impact materiality? If Steel Authority is operating into Bhilai or operating into Rourkela or in Durgapur, and because of the activities of Steel Authority, what impact it is creating on the stakeholder? There could be a positive impact, there could be a negative impact also. Now, positive impact we keep aside and we only consider the negative impact. Now, when stakeholder responds to that negative impact, uh, how much financial impact it will create on the company, that is also captured, and that is what called as financial materiality. For example, you say if Steel Authority is emitting, say, 2.75 tons of CO2 per ton of crude steel. Now, what impact it will create on the community? Or there is a particulate matter pollution happening, and pollution control board slaps a case on Steel Authority or the director of Steel Authority. What impact it will have? So there will be a negative publicity in the newspaper. There could be few people will be show cost, or few people will be some action may be taken on few people, and it may also impact the business or sale of the steel in the market, because they will not be considered as taking care of the environment or the community, and that may have some financial impact on the operations of Steel Authority. So that's how that impact has been quantitatively captured by interviewing and then putting some tools in place, and then it has been planned. The highest impact would come on the top right corner, the financial impact, and highest impact which is happening on the community will also come on the top. So those
Am I?
issues
Hello, sir. Can
is,
I interrupt, sir? Sir,
yeah,
I'm
please.
Ram. Sir, I have two questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. First is in your second slide, there was word BCM. What is the full form of BCM?
Business continuity management.
Okay, okay. And in the this materiality, at sale, we are just doing the impact materiality. I just want to know if we go for double materiality, would
Mhm.
it be possible to do it on our own life without hiring a consultant? Is the methodology available anywhere?
There is no methodology available, but there are some documents on CSRD and GRI. CSRD has, you can Google and find it out. CSRD, corporate
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
social sustainability reporting directives.
Yes,
So
sir.
you can refer, and they have given what exactly the outcome should be. And based on that, you can develop the methodology. We have developed ourselves. I did it in two companies, Dalmia as well as here, and more or less the same methodology is being followed. You need to interact, you need to talk to people, you need to understand what impact our operations are creating, and you also need to see the reflection of our impact on those people, and what will happen to your company.
Okay, so the financial materiality would be like, you were talking about climate change.
Yeah.
So suppose we want to reduce CO2. So do we have to consider all the technologies also, the amount we are going to
Yes,
spend on?
yes. So if you have to reduce CO2, well, let's say, for example, 9,000 rupees a ton is the current best available technology if you take. So that will be the financial impact. So you will have to capture that.
Okay,
That,
so for
that's
all,
how climate change is coming on the top.
so you mean to say for all the material topics, we have to convert it into the
Financial
financial.
material.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, sir.
And then you may select top whatever 10, 15. We have selected 17 here. Okay.
17, yeah, yeah. What is this M1, M2? This, acha, material numbers.
Materiality. So we had given number to those material topics, and those are being selected here.
Okay,
Now,
sir.
why we have given M1, M2 is in the matrix, you can see there M1. I can't write climate change, everything over there. Na?
Yeah, yeah, I got it. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Now, once you do the materiality assessment, then you move to your sustainability strategy. And as you see that we had uh, found out 17 material issues, what we tried to do is those 17 issues, we tried to put it into buckets. So one is definitely climate change. We have purposely kept climate change because carbon is very, very important and focused approach is required to be there, especially for a steel industry. Then we have taken environment. Now, when we say environment, it includes biodiversity, includes sustainable mining, it includes water, it includes dust and other kind of things. So that's why environment is important. Product sustainability is very, very important. Nowadays, CBAM is coming. Many people are demanding sustainable products. So we publish the EPDs on that. And how can we have, offset or inset some of the CO2 emissions and try to bring down the product emission. Customers are very important. Now, customers, not from a climate perspective, but from a ESG perspective, are very important. So here primarily we are focusing on net promoter score or what is the customer feedback. And net promoter score is very, very important for us. So based on that net promoter score, we are deciding our strategy because customers, if we don't create value for customers, they will move to some other supplier and we will have to close our business. So this is one of the primary stakeholders. And all these 10 spokes or strategic element, what you see over here, they are mapped to the material issues as well as to the stakeholders. So customer is one of the stakeholders. People, when I say people within the organization and people outside the organization. So within the organization, health, safety, well-being of the people, we do take care. And outside the organization is primarily the community. So through our CSR activities, how can we create value for them? That's what we try to create. Risk management is very important. I spoke to you about the financial risk, operational risk, reputational risk. So risk management is done across all the organization. There is a statutory risk committee also, which meets on the quarterly basis and reviews the mitigation plan on the risk community. People, when I say this people is primarily safety and the community we have kept separately because there is that 2% CSR compliance is also there. But beyond that, CAR is also there. We have lots of projects coming up and there is a substantial amount we have been asked by government or during the public hearing some certain amount and that we need to spend in a very logical and the return on investment is very important. The money has to be go to the right purpose and right people. So that's why we have kept this community as a separate. Supply chain sustainability is very important. What we say is having being sustainable in your four walls is not enough because if you look at your business, your 60 to 70% business is happening, activities are happening outside your four walls. So it is very essential that your upstream and downstream supply chain remains sustainable. So each company would have about 14,000, 15,000 suppliers. Not all can be mapped, but we do a ABC analysis or a 20, 80, 20 analysis And those 80-20, by doing 80-20 analysis, say 200 odd suppliers who have 80% of our spent, they have been identified, and we do a handholding with them. We ask them to comply with our ESG requirements. We come out with a score, and within a 3 years of time frame, we ask them to improve to a certain level. Otherwise, we may not be able to work with them. That's what the messaging which we have done, and we see a good response happening to that. Suppliers are also very keen to participate in our supply chain sustainability program, because ultimately sustainability and profitability goes hand in hand. If you are sustainable, you are definitely or surely going to be profitable. I have not seen a company which is called a sustainable company and is not making profit. Then governance and disclosures is also very important. And we have been, there are policies and frameworks and the committees which are there, which regularly meets. Board evaluation is a very important thing. Right kind of competence has to be there on the board. The board members are knowledgeable about your business, knowledgeable about ESG, sustainability. So that kind of thing also we do. And finally, communication and branding is very important. If you are doing something good within the organization, you must communicate that to outside to your stakeholder. If there is your communication channels are not good, perhaps your stakeholder will not come to know what you are doing. And if they don't know what you are doing, uh, they will not see the value what you are creating for them. So communication through your website, through your sustainability reports, through your social media post. So there is a structured program we have developed how to reach out to our stakeholders, and we have been following that. So this is a sustainability strategy which we have adopted. Climate change, we have a roadmap which is created. We are aiming that by 2030 we'll reduce our carbon footprint by 20% on a baseline of 2021. So that currently we are around 2.17 per ton of crude steel, and we are targeting it to be 1.8 tons by 2030. uh, our parent companies, both ArcelorMittal and Nippon Steel, have already committed to net zero by 2050. As a Indian arm, we haven't committed as yet, but we are more or less in line with what our parent companies are saying. Uh, CBAM ask is, we have been supplying to Europe also, maybe 6 million, 1 million ton or so. So we have been exporting, and we are complying to CBAM requirements also. The ask is very stringent. They want us to be net zero by 2034, but I don't think that is a reasonable or achievable target. India is also coming out with the CCTS carbon credit trading scheme, which asks to reduce 7.36% by 2027 on a 2021 level. And if you don't meet that, you will have to buy credits from the market. And India, India, we have nationally determined commitments, contributions. So that is asking net zero by 2070. So we are aligning to that. So this is on the climate change side. On the environment side, of course, monitoring biodiversity, no net loss policy, water conservation initiatives per ton of crude steel production, how much is water consumption, and we have taken targets site-wise to reduce those water consumption. On product sustainability, we are doing a life cycle assessment of the product. We have done EPD is there for 9 products, or we have declared the environmental product related footprint, which is called as EPD. And you can see that in the EPD registry also, and also on our website. And we are doing product-wise footprint monitoring, which is a requirement for CBAM. Currently, we are into transition period, October 23 onwards, but January 2026, this will come as a reality. So we are in a transition phase. On a quarterly basis, we are communicating our product CO2 footprint. Customer and people, as I say, the initiatives what we are taking is communicating, doing training programs, capacity building, employee volunteering. We are asking them to volunteer with us as well. And we are creating awareness about our product, how green they are as compared to competitors with them. Risk management, as I already told, we have done gap assessment, we have done uh, risk transformation roadmap, and to establish a risk culture, a lot of training programs are being conducted. On the social side, we have a structured program. We have 5 elements, which includes health, education, sports, uh, the rural infrastructure, and culture. So on these 5 initiatives, we work very closely with the community. Need assessment has been done. Funds have been allocated. We regularly monitor what we spend. Are we getting the return out of it? The What is the happiness index of the community that we try and establish. On the policy advocacy side, we do meet most of the ministries. I do sit on some of the steering committees. I am a member of most of the task forces which are uh, formed by Ministry of Steel or Ministry of Environment, and some of the trade associations, FICCI, CII, PhD, CC, or ASOCAM. We are a member of that. So there are 4 pillars of sustainability. One is governance, value creation approach, decarbonization, and circular economy. I had already covered this. I don't think I need to talk this. Now, this is the decarbonization roadmap which we have developed. So in 2021, we were somewhere around 2.23. Today, we are at 2.17, and we are targeting to be 1.8 by 2030. Now, how we will achieve that? So 11% to 12% will come from renewable energy. You might be knowing that we are currently almost 41% on renewable energy. We have a 950 megawatt RERTC plant commission in Andhra Pradesh, where we have pump storage also. Then 6 to 7% will come through scrap route. We have already touched 6%. But here is a challenge. One is that the imported scrap is not available. The another one is the prices of scrap is very high, and also the right quality of scrap is not available. But in spite of that, we were able to meet 6% of the scrap, and the objective is to achieve up to 12 to 15% to meet the 2030 goals. Similarly, on operational efficiency, lots of projects are going on. Kaizens are doing, uh, whether it is improvising the mm, coal injection rate, or coal center plant efficiencies in the center plant, or various other plants. There we are trying to improve the heat rate and all, and that will lead to about 1 to 2% reduction into CO2 emission. Going forward, as I said, scrap energy transformation, we would like to move to the greener, as the electricity would like to be 100% green by 2030. And then we would like to have a process transformation as well. While currently we have 3 routes to produce DRI, EF, BF, and EF, and we have Corex also. But as we go forward, we would like to have the best available technologies and any energy efficient technologies taking. We will be having those best available technologies. Some of the key projects, as I already told you, aim through ArcelorMittal Green. We have this pumped hydro project, which is just commissioned. We'll be having this plant where almost 1,000 megawatts of power will be there, out of which 250 megawatt will be round the clock power. And there is a 25-year agreement we have done with Greenco. on this. On increased scrap use, I already spoke to you. So mostly government has come out with the vehicle scrapping policies. We have already set up our own shredding plants at Khopoli in Maharashtra, and two other plants we are setting up for developing an ecosystem for scrap. So that will provide us scrap, and we are targeting to increase it to 10% level. Operational efficiency, center plant dimension, the gas optimization we are doing, that the entire gas, whether it is Corex or blast furnace gas, is being consumed and is being best utilized. Similarly, on the heat recovery, we have wasted recovery power plants, and we also on the fine side, we have coal briquetting and agglomeration plant, micro palletizers we have put in place. Circular economy, we have, as you all know, to produce about 1 ton of steel, we require about uh, 2.5 ton of raw material. We can exclude gas. We have major gas. Otherwise, in your case, it could be much higher if you have coal. And 1.5 ton is a waste, actually. So we have identified 42 waste streams, out of which 27 can be recycled straight away, three have been repurposed, and we are working on 12. Of course, these are small quantities which contributes to almost 3%. We are working on finding an application for that. But otherwise, there is a good application, which of course you are also doing. There is nothing new which everybody is doing. Only this 12 which are there, that we don't have an application, and we would try to find it out. Governance and disclosure is very important. So we have policies, we have management committees on sustainability, we have management committee on CSR, post guidelines are there, human rights are there, environment policies there, quality policies. So all sort of policies, 15 odd policies are there with us. And when we say policy, there are supporting programs and frameworks have been put, and there is a governance mechanism also have been put. It's not that only the policies are there on the laptops or website. It's being this thing implemented well, and there are audits happening, sample audits happening on implementation of this policy, and these are being reviewed at the board level uh, on a regular basis. Beyond 2030, what we have planned is, on the decarbonization side, we'll focus primarily on biochar. We already started working on developing a ecosystem for biochar, supply chain for biochar. We are working with a lot of farmers and the other agencies to how can we have a biochar or biomass available, which can be converted into biochar. CCS is something which we believe that carbon has come from the earth and it has to go back to earth. So we are working on hydrocarbon, MOPNG, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. How can we inject the CO2 into defunct or depleted oil wells? So that's what CCU is something. While we see a less possibility of CCU, because methanol and urea, they are the two top products we could produce. And there is already a market existing for methanol and urea. And to push the conventional urea and put the green urea in place will be very, very difficult. So that's why we see a limited market. And steel industry, our own industry, emits about 16 to 17 million tons of CO2. If we put all the steel industry, it could be around 200 million tons. So converting 200 million tons of CO2 into useful products, cement industry has around 280 or 300 million tons of CO2. Similarly, petrochemical power will have. So all put together will be 1 billion tons of CO2. So 1 billion tons of CO2 converted into useful products is very, very difficult. So I see a limitation on this. So I personally feel that CCS is the right approach. The next one is hydrogen DRI, and many of you know that we have used DRI plant. We have almost 7 million tons of DRI, 6 modules. We are contemplating to use hydrogen into DRI for reduction purpose, and we are very confident that up to 30% we can do. But we would like to take it to 80% or maybe 100% also at a later stage. So we are just waiting for hydrogen prices to come down below $2. At the moment it comes down to $2, we will be using hydrogen both in blast furnace as well as in the DRI shaft. RERTC is something we are focusing. We have plans to have 7,000 megawatts of renewable electricity, which will be a blended of wind and solar both, and of course with energy storage. So that's what we are trying to do, and we are contemplating to have RE 100% RE by 2030. And another lever also we are trying is compressed biogas, and that's also very good available. You know that government has come out with the policy of Go Bardhan, and they have been promoting farmers to have the biogas being produced. Now, this biogas can be injected into the existing gas network, and we can take a credit of this biogas. That's what we are trying to work. But of course, these projects are at very nascent stage. I wouldn't say that we are at a very advanced stage on this, but this is the direction in which we are going to work. Now, a lot will depend upon the availability of technology, availability of finances, and availability of the government policy. So we're working on all the three directions. We are working very closely on with government on policy. How can we have a favorable ecosystem or favorable supply chain for this? How can be cheaper finances available for these kind of projects? And the best available technologies for it. That also we are trying to work upon. Social side, lots of work we are doing, and almost 1.3 million people we have engaged so far on the social side on various the six initiatives we have taken: healthcare, sustainable livelihood, education, culture and sports, community infrastructure, and environment side. So these are some of the glimpses of afforestation initiative. Lots of mangrove plantation we have done both at Orissa as well as in Hazira, which is west coast and the east coast, and it's being appreciated well by government also. And we do, these are some of the glimpses. Of course, everybody does that. It's not only ArcelorMittal doing it, but I know Steel Authority of India is also doing some of the glimpses we have shown. I would like to take a pause over here and open up for some questions. We still have 5-6 minutes left out.
Thank you, sir. I must say, sir, thank you, sir, for this very enlightening session, sir. Now we are open to question and answers. It's a
I
great.
don't know, it was very fast. I had to cover those slides, and time is also precious. I don't want people to stay back beyond 6 o'clock.
No, but you give us the cream, sir, and especially at this level of the audience, they could fill in the gaps, and they with the experience they have catch much better, sir.
Great. Mm-hmm.
Hello, good evening, sir. I am Sandeep. Hello, good evening, sir. I am Sandeep from Bhilai Steel Plant. Sir, I have a question. How is AMNS handling its BOF slag, sir?
We don't have BOF right now. We have electric arc furnaces, and that we are doing metal recovery. We have metal recovery plant. 15% metal is being recovered. Part of that goes to road making, and our own projects are going on right now. So we use that in the projects in place of the aggregates, and some of the slag goes in cement plant as well.
Any more questions?
Sir, any progress on adding HBI?
We have HBI, na?
How much percentage?
Now we are not producing HBI. When we have to sell sponge iron,
are you adding HBI in steel making process?
Right now, no plans. In phase 2, we may have one more module.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir. Myself, Rajiv Gupta from ISP Burnpur.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, what's AMNS is thinking about scope 3, means from upstream and downstream supply chain?
So upstream, I can talk about. Upstream, of course, product side, we have our own palletization, beneficiation plants. There we are having coke oven plants also. We are reducing the CO2 emission. But there are 15 categories of scope 3 emission. we are addressing about 5 to 6 categories, which as per WSA methodology. Employee commute and all, we are not right now addressing, but very soon we'll cover to that also. We have converted some of our vehicles to electric vehicle also. But there is a way to go in that area.
Yeah, and one more thing means carbon credits you are means generating means assessment. How you are going for assessment of this?
So the baseline assessment has happened. So BE has engaged some agency and they had come and done the baseline assessment. Now BE would provide the targets to us and then the verification will also happen later.
Sir, one more question, sir. Sir, I'm Hiralal Mahapatra, CGM Utility and Environment Rourkela Steel Plant. Sir, what is the CO2 emission at present in ANMS? And what is the specific water consumption in ANMS?
2.17 per ton of crude steel.
I see, sir. Thank you. And what about specific water consumption?
Water, I'm not sure. I'll provide the number.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
The data sir would be also available in all the reports. Sir.
Yeah, data is there in my sustainability report. You can visit my website and it's available over there.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rakhi Sen, sir. I'm from the Environment Management Division. Sir, I would like to know how you have done your supply chain management process. Have you listed all your...
So as I told, we have 14,000 odd suppliers. And they right from nuts bolts to coal suppliers are there or limestone suppliers are there. What we have done is we did a 80-20 analysis and where that 80% spent is going. So we could find that 200 top 200 suppliers from a spend point of view. And also
so you
some
have
of
gone beyond BRSR. BRSR says 75% by value. So you have kept it at 80% by value.
Yes. So, no, we are not referring to BRSR. This is our own, this thing we have done. So we said that in supply chain sustainability, if you start engaging with all MSMEs and all, it will be very difficult to achieve. So what we have decided that let's target the big ticket items first, the bigger suppliers first, and then have a quick win and then percolate to the MSMEs and the other areas also. Otherwise, if we start working with small nuts and bolts, the leadership bandwidth is very limited we have, and we wanted to spend that first with the top suppliers and then percolate to the MSMEs. So that's why top 200 suppliers we have identified.
Sir, what would you suggest to SAIL for identifying those 75% by value? If you want to do it, how should we go about?
So there are three filters we applied. One was value. Second was single source supplier, because our past experience said that if there is a strike or if there is a closure at some of the suppliers, single supplier, then it may impact your sustainability or business continuity. And then some of the suppliers which are very critical from environment or social point of view, either they are into water stress areas, they are into very sensitive, eco-sensitive zones, and if something goes wrong with them, it can impact our operations also. So these three filters we applied and then identified 200 suppliers, and we are working with them.
So can I ask on the BRSR also, sir?
Yeah, please.
So to know their KPIs, so you developed any questionnaire for them?
Yes. So we have developed a ESG code of conduct, which has about 258 questions on environmental, social, and governance, and it has all essential and leadership indicators of BRSR. And those have been, they have been asked to fill up that questionnaire, and based on the self-assessment, we have come out with a score.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. We would like to take more questions, but considering the paucity of time and also, sir, the time at hand also, we If any further questions, I request, please, you can
Please,
put in
please.
the chat box. We'll shoot them to the office of sir.
Sure, sure.
Now, for wrapping up, may I request Atanu Mukherjee sir to give a summary of the proceedings and sir, give us vote of thanks.
Thank you, Rajesh. First of all, we like to extend heartfelt thanks to Dr. Arvind sir. It's a very, very good interactive session you had, sir. And a lot of information flow also happened. So on behalf of total sale team, really we are thankful to you for giving all the insight in the area of the ESG and sustainability. So once again, thanks to you. Also, I like to thank all the CGMs, Chief General Managers who are present, and the executive directors also who are connected online for their presence, and also getting that different perspective in the context of the leadership insight. This time, as Rajesh mentioned, this is the 16th Antardrishti we are conducting, and this time we have selected the sustainability and ESG as one of the insight for the leader to take on. So that's the thing we did, and it was very nicely explained by Dr. Arvind Saab. So to sum up the different learning, in short, I'll sum up. I understand the timing. I will respect that also. So he started, he briefed us about the basic difference between the sustainability and ESG. Right. So, and very clearly he mentioned that the, ESG is the process, which, I really liked it. And I have stored in my hard disk. So he said that ESG is a process, whereas the sustainability is the outcome. Very easy to understand. So there should not be any confusion between, ESG should be used as a mode to have this sustainability. So that's a very nicely he explained. And he also talked about the definition, basic definition of sustainability, where he mentioned about a condition. It's basically condition where the human and the nature, both of them, they can exist in a productive harmony to support the present as well as the future generation. So that's a very nice way of he defined the particular word sustainability. And he also gave some example of mining. I understand mining is, a lot of hazardous, activities we conduct, especially whenever we are going for the exploration to exploitation. So in this process of exploration and exploitation, a lot of things we are damaging the nature. And many times we forget to look for this tailing management and the afforestation part. We go for the deforestation, but we forget about afforestation part. So that also he explained very nicely. He took the example of Norway, the mining sites. Now, he also briefed us regarding the basics of the sustainability, where he mentioned about the value creation, business continuity, risk management. In the context of the risk management, he explained about the different risk management, like the financial risk, operational risk, and the reputational risk. And also he talked about how we should protect our people and the planet. Then also he shared with us about about the ESG term. These ESG terms are, generally it is used by the investor and the service industry. And they give, equal weightage to environment, social, and the governance. And then he talked about the material assessment, where he mentioned about the 17 numbers of the material issues, like climate change, sustainable mining, tailing management, affected communities, population, pollution, diversity and ecosystem, R&D and innovation, brand management, workers in value chain. He also talked about that all these material issues, 17 material issues should be, assessed in the respect of impact materiality as well as the financial materiality aspect. Then he shared about that how strategy can be formulated. That is what the in ArcelorMittal they did. They formulated the strategy strategy for this sustainability, where they have taken the climate change as one of the issue, as well as the environment, product, customer, people, risk management, community, supply chain, governance, communication, and the branding. So these are some of the very, very important issues the ArcelorMittal is basically considering in their strategy of sustainability. Now, he also talked about, and that is what I think SAIL also needs to do it. That is beyond 2030. He mentioned about that decarbonization of steel industry, and that is what our SAIL also should look for. We have to go for a green hydrogen, where by using this green hydrogen, we'll be able to achieve the net zero steel production. So that's a very nice way of explaining the different aspects of sustainability. And really, sir, we are really thankful to you for I mean, giving all the information regarding this ESG and this sustainability. So, and also I like to thank all the participants who are connected in online in this Antardrishti.
Atanu sir, before we close, sir, can I have your permission, sir? Because we don't get you so always, sir. We have two questions.
Yeah.
Can I post it, sir?
Please,
with your permission, sir?
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Arvind sir, can I take two questions? I will.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So we have one question from ISP, which is asking, sir, how the tar sludge is being handled. And we have another question from Natarajan, sir, that what will be the new challenges for AMNS on the carbon score as they add the BF capacity to existing EF route, sir?
So with the, I will answer the second question first. So with BF, definitely our CO2 will increase. And as you know, BF is a relatively CO2 intensive process. But as I said, we are also working on renewable energy. So currently 41%, we want to go to another, maybe by that time we'll be around 75%. And we'll also go on the biochar instead of PCI. We are trying to have the biochar being injected through the tours. So those kind of initiatives we are already working upon.
And another was, sir, how the tar sludge is being handled?
Yeah, which task? What is that task?
Tar sludge.
Tar sludge, yeah, tar sludge. Honestly, our coke plant is not yet commissioned, but very soon it will be commissioned, and we will be selling the tar sludge to various, there are end users for tar sludge, and we have identified the buyers for that.
Sir, government have some restrictions on handling all those tar sludge because it is a hazardous material.
Yeah, but there are companies who are manufacturing carbon black and the other kind of thing which can serve as a raw material for them. Maybe at a later stage we can also think of having some plant to utilize that tar sludge.
Okay.
But currently we don't have that issue. But our coke batteries, there are 4 coke batteries we'll be commissioning next year.
Okay.
It's at the project stage. Yeah.
Okay.
Atanu sir has said that. I will just rephrase it, sir. I'm really, from the heart, sir, we thank you, sir, for spending the time at such short notice. We were trying to get you from the long time, sir, and really thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your team, sir, especially Thomas, to have been very persisting and have been very patient gentleman. And thank you, sir.
My pleasure. It's always a pleasure to speak to people, whether it is as a part of ArcelorMittal or JSW, or not JSW, the Ispat Industries or SWILE. So it's always a pleasure to talk to you. And I have worked with many of your MDs, who have been post-retirement taken, have been my bosses. It's always a pleasure to work with you. Thank you, Rajeshji. Thank you, Atanuji, and thank you all of you.
Thank you very much.
If you have any questions, just drop a mail or pick up a phone and talk to me. I am available.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you all, sir. Thank you, all the participants.